Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Nitya Gaura Hari Bom Hari Bom Hari Bom Gaura Hari Bom Nitya Gaura Hari Bom Hari Bom Hari Bom Gaura Hari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. You take this. So, ladies, if you've come for the class, please come sit over here because you're too far away. Everybody can sit on this side. It's a small crowd today. And the gents, they can scoot over so that there's room for the ladies. That's as close as you're going to come, is it? Okay. All right. So, I know there wasn't much notice, but we're going to speak about spiritual economics today. I wrote this book, Spiritual Economics from the Bhagavad Gita. We have some copies at the table there. So today we're going to speak about that and explain what does it mean. Now generally, oftentimes when I say spiritual economics, the eyes get wide because this sounds like an oxymoron, right? Two words that don't belong together. Spiritual is up there and economics is down there, right? And so how is it that there's spiritual economics? So it's not so difficult, actually. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Economics is simply another way of saying, how do we live? So, how do we live in a spiritual way? That's spiritual economics. And we're going to introduce this in a way kind of based on what I was saying last night. If you didn't see the lecture, then basically what we were saying is that our cultural conditioning prevents us from understanding the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. And so today we're going to explore some examples of that. So, what's Krishna's last instruction in Bhagavad Gita? Ladies, who knows? Very famous Sanskrit verse. Sarva. Okay. Tom sarvapapebhyo mokshayishami ma suchaha. Yes, very good. Sarvadharmam parityagam mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishami ma suchaha. Prabhu, are you chanting japa? Are you here for class? You can't do both at the same time. Either it'll be bad japa and it'll be bad listening. So you pick one. Thank you. Sarva dharmam parityaga. Sarva, all. Dharma, Prabhupada translates this word as religion. Parityaga, give it up. Very strange idea for God to be saying, isn't it? Here God is saying, give up all varieties of religion. But wait a minute. Usually we think God wants us to follow religion, right? Isn't that the idea? People go to church because they want to try to follow religion. So, this is a strange way to end Bhagavad Gita. And because it's a last instruction, we should understand very clearly what this instruction is, what it means. So to understand that, we go to the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And there, setting the scene is Prabhupada is explaining, or the book introduces the scene where Arjuna is facing his opponents in the battle, and he sees that he has to fight his kinsmen, his family, his relatives. And he becomes very disturbed by that, and he starts making arguments why he should not fight the battle. And he gives a lot of good arguments, right? He says, if we kill these men, their ladies will be unprotected. Then unwanted progeny will come. Then the family traditions will be lost, and the whole culture will be destroyed. So these are good arguments. Because actually what Arjuna predicted is really what happened. But as important as the arguments themselves are, we want to understand where these arguments are from. What's the basis of the arguments that Arjuna is making? Where are they from? Yeah, well, I mean, is he just making it up, or is there some other basis for it? What do you think? Other Shastra, yeah. What kind of Shastra? What was the process of self-realization at that time when Arjuna was speaking? Yeah. Well, they're following the Vedas, right? And what section of the Vedas? What path of the Vedas? Generally, there's 3 parts: Jnana-kanda, Karma-kanda, Upasana-kanda. So what were they following? Karma-kanda, mostly. Some Jnana-kanda too. But mostly they were following Karma-kanda. And the arguments that Arjuna was giving was from Karma-kanda. In other words, another way of saying that is Arjuna was making the argument from his culture. That was the culture that they were in at the time, right? Their culture was that the oldest son would perform the yajna, the sacrifice, and by that process, as long as the descendants were performing the sacrifice, the forefathers, they could stay in the heavenly planets. So they wanted to encourage this system to go on because everybody wanted to go to heaven. That's the idea, right? That's one of the results, or one of the goals of Karmakanda. We get to enjoy life, and then after life we go to heaven and we enjoy some more. And as long as the descendants, they continue to follow this process, then we stay in heaven for a long, long time. So they wanted to be sure to pass on this culture to their descendants. So this is what Arjuna was saying. We can't kill these men, then the whole system will break down. Right? That's how he's trained. So, very good. Yeah. Arjuna is making the argument from his culture. Now, let's understand, what does that mean for us today? So that was 5,000 years ago, right? People are no longer following Karmakanda. Not in America anyway. I don't know, maybe in India. Some people are, but not in America. So then what is this lesson of the first chapter? What does it mean for us? So we'll explore that. We also have a culture, right? Now, most of you are immigrants. Maybe some of you, younger people, are born in America. But most of you are immigrants. Now, culture is different in different parts of the world. And so it's difficult for us to see our own culture. But when you go to a foreign place, it's very easy to see the culture because it stands out. There's great differences, right? So you're from, those of you who are from India, what can you say about American culture? What is the culture of America? Come on.
Here also people follow some certain kind of a culture. Some people, not all people.
Yeah.
All of them.
So what's our culture? What do we do that's different from what's done in India? Huh? Eat, huh? Eat, drink, and be merry. Everybody does that all over the world. What's different? Huh?
Some goes every Sunday to the church and pray.
Okay, well, most people are Christian, right? Not Hindu. We decorate our houses differently than they do in India, right? The ladies dress differently here than they do over there, generally. Or maybe they're starting to change that now. The men used to dress differently, but now they don't anymore, right? So there's a lot of differences, but there's an interesting part of American culture that doesn't stand out. It's kind of something I learned when I was a young man. I was a young man when I joined Prabhupada's movement right out of university. And then after some time I got married and we started to have children, and so we wanted to have our own house. So we rented a house, and you know how here, well, I don't know, here where the houses are, everybody has grass, right? Everybody has grass in front of the house. So this is a normal part of American life. People take their grass very seriously, right? So I rented this house, and the grass wasn't very good looking, so I thought, okay, as a good citizen, I should make the grass look nice, right? So I was going to go to the store and buy some grass seed, plant the grass seed and make it look good. But then I was thinking, well, wait a minute. Where does grass seed come from? It comes from grass. And there's already some grass there. So I'll let the grass grow. It'll produce its own seed, and very naturally it will fill itself in, right? This is the natural method. So this is the voice of inexperience talking. I didn't know how long that would take, right? So everybody, they keep their grass cut about this high, right? So after about 3 weeks, my grass was like this. Everybody else's grass was like this. So I knew I was not following the Dharma of America, right? The culture of America, because the man next door, he sent his son over. He said, "My dad wants to know when you're going to cut your grass." So I took that as a hint that I was violating the Dharma of America. So every culture has its Dharma. Dharma means, what do we do in the culture? Okay? Now, in fact, I read recently that one elderly woman in someplace here in America, she couldn't cut her grass. And so after a while, her yard didn't look so good. So the police came and they arrested her. Yeah, there's several cases of this you read about in these little news items, So this is one of the dharmas of America, right? Keep your grass cut nicely. So Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharma Prityaga. Is that the Dharma that he's referring to? Don't bother cutting your grass? What does it mean when he says give up this Dharma? So that we want to explore. We want to understand. Arjuna is making the argument about Dharma from his culture. Our culture has also its own Dharmas, right? You pay your taxes. Everybody has a job. You're good citizens. You follow the traffic rules, like that. We behave nicely to each other. So, every place has its Dharma, and, after you're in a place for a while, you kind of pick it up because you see what other people are doing, right? A culture is transmitted by seeing. When we see what other people are doing, that's what we learn to do. Just like here, we have our own culture in this temple, right? What do? We come in here and we bow down. There's no other place practically in America where they do that, right? But it's our culture here, and we learn to do that by observing the other devotees do that. And originally we learned to do that from watching Prabhupada. He would bow down before the deities, so we understood, this is how the Vaishnava behaves. So we have our dharmas, and some of these dharmas are what Krishna says, parityaga, give it up. Let's talk about another dharma. There's another aspect of our culture that's not easy to see. So after Krishna encourages Arjuna to fight in the battle, then he starts explaining the nature of the soul. Natrevaham jatunasam natvaminime janadipaha nachavana bhavishyama sarvevayam taparam. Never is there a time when not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So he speaks about the nature of the soul for about 20 slokas, and then he changes, and then again he encourages Arjuna to fight in the battle, and then he changes the subject. And text 239, Eshate Bihita Sankhye. Anybody know this one? Eshate Bihita Sankhye, Buddhir Yoga, what? Eshate Bihita Sankhye, Buddhir Yoga, Prantapa. You see. So, Krishna says, so far I've explained to you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. Now, listen, whereby one learns to work without fruitive results. Now, upon hearing this, Arjuna's eyes should become white as saucers, right? If there's exclamation marks in Sanskrit, there should be about 10 of them after this sloka, right? We should be reading this and going, what? Why? Work without fruitive result. But we just got done saying, what were they following? What was their dharma at that time? Karmakanda. Karmakanda was their dharma, and Krishna's saying, now we're going to work without karma. Whoa! that changes everything, right? You can imagine Arjuna comes home from the war. He says, Krishna told me we're going to stop doing karma. Everybody will think, oh, poor Arjuna, he got hit on the head in the battle, right? That's the way that's their dharma. That's what they did. But this indeed is what Krishna is saying. This is the dharma that he's talking about when he says, sarva dharma parityaga. This is one of the dharmas. After this sloka, he begins to explain how people who want to follow the Vedas, they're less intelligent. Because what they need to do is understand what's the purpose of the Vedas. What are the Vedas for? And he explains that later in Bhagavad Gita. Vedascha saveraham eva vedyo vedantakrit vedavid eva chaham. Eva chaham. By the Vedas I am to be known. So the Vedas are for understanding Krishna. And Krishna says, the one who knows that purpose of the Vedas, they don't have to go through all this trouble of the Vedas. They can go directly to serve this purpose. And this is what he's teaching in Bhagavad Gita. How to directly accomplish the purpose of the Vedas by doing devotional service. So this is an important dharma that Krishna is telling Arjuna to give up. Now there's more dharmas coming for us. After explaining that the Vedas are for the less intelligent, then Krishna gives the second lesson in Bhagavad Gita. The first lesson is, we're not the body. What's the second lesson? This is a good way to study Bhagavad Gita. Go through and find what are the lessons that Krishna is teaching, one after the other. So the second lesson starts out, Karmani varikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palahitur bur mate sangost vakarmani. Who knows the translation? You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the results. Okay, how many of you have a job? Sir, why do you go to work? To earn money. This is otherwise called what? The fruits of your activity, right? And Krishna is saying here, what? You're not entitled to the fruits. Do your duty, but the result doesn't belong to you. We have a problem here, don't we? Right? This is how this whole culture, the whole dharma of America is work hard, right? To earn money. But Krishna says, no. Sarva dharma parityaga. This dharma, give it up. Why is he saying that? Why does Krishna say that? You're not entitled to the fruits, because he's going to go on to explain karma. How is karma working? And what's the result of karma? So in 249, please turn 249. Begins. What's the beginning of the first word? In the Sanskrit?
Durena.
Durena, yeah. Durena hyavara karma. Durena, this word durena means get far away from it. Like something has a very bad smell, right? You want to get far away. Durena hyavara. Get far away from what? Karma. And then the last line in this sloka. Kripana palahetava. Pala, the results of work. The one who wants the results of his work, he is kripana. He's a miser. So what's a miser? We know miser is generally thought of as somebody who has a lot of money, but they won't spend it, right? This is a general idea. But actually miser means somebody who does not know the proper value of something. Money, after all, is meant to be spent. That's what it's for, right? But if you won't spend it, then you're not using it for its purpose. So why does Krishna say this? Kripana palahetava. Those who want to enjoy the results of their work, they're not understanding the value of human life. human life, we have the opportunity for what? To become free from karma. Because karma is what keeps us bound to this material world. There's another world. There's a spiritual world where we can go. It's a blissful, wonderful place. There's no suffering there. That place is in harmony with our own spiritual nature. But because we want the fruits of our work, we want the result of karma, we have to stay here. We stay put in this material world and continue to suffer life after life. So, Krishna is saying, don't do that. What's he say instead? We go to 251. Read. Yeah, karmajam buddhi yukta hi. Translation?
By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of...
By engaging in devotional service to the Lord, the devotees free themselves from the results of karma. So this is the whole point of Bhagavad Gita. How to become free from karma? By engaging in devotional service. So this is how we accomplish the purpose of the Vedas, by devotional service. And then later in 3.10, Krishna explains, or 3.9, Yajna tat karmanon yatra lokayam karma bandhana. What is it next? Yajna tat karmanon yatra lokayam karma bandhana. Anybody? Study more. You have to study your slokas. Tadat. Yeah, mukta sangha samachara. Work must be done as a sacrifice for Vishnu, otherwise work binds one to this material world. So our work, everybody, we have to work. It's, people are active. So how do we do that work? We do it as a sacrifice for Vishnu. We do it for the pleasure and satisfaction of Vishnu. So this is spiritual economics. How do we work? Krishna, you won't find the word economics one time in Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna is talking about work. He's talking about the impetus for work, the motivation. He's talking about the results of work, what to do with those results. So this is what we can understand as economics. So spiritual economics means that we do our work for the pleasure of Krishna. So that why? Because it's free from karma. And by performing that, we become freed from the karma of our previous activities. So this is how to live. Krishna is giving us, he's telling us, explaining throughout the Bhagavad Gita. This comes up again and again and again. If you study Bhagavad Gita, you'll see Krishna referring to the results of work all the time and how one should give up the results of their activities. He explains, he says this at least 25 times in Bhagavad Gita, right? Yeah. So Prabhupada says, right, when the Vedas, they want to emphasize something, they repeat it 3 times, right? Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam kalo nyasteva 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 gatiranyata. 3 times for emphasis. So Krishna is repeating the same thing 25 times. Get it through our thick head. The results of work don't belong to us. They're meant to be done for Vishnu, for Krishna. We perform our work for his satisfaction. And that way we become free from the bondage of karma. So this is spiritual economics. So this is another dharma, right? Another dharma of America. Work hard, get a lot of money. Right? So this is the idea in America, the land of the capitalists. Get a lot of money and enjoy. Right? It's like that, what's that philosophy? Beg, borrow, or steal, but somehow or other get ghee. Right? Who is that? Said that? It begins with cha. Sarvakma. Yeah. So, yeah, America. Get money and enjoy. Yeah, work hard, get money and enjoy. So this is, you see, we have a problem because the people who have arranged modern society, they are not devotees of Krishna, right? In fact, they're the other kind. What's the other side? 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains there are two types of people in this world, right? The divine who follow the instructions of the Lord, and the asuras, the demons. They don't care what God says. They're going to do whatever they want. Yes, we want to enjoy. They want to increase their ahankara, their false ego. Aham bogi, aham mameti, right? I am the enjoyer. I am the proprietor. They want to increase that. So they've created this economic system particularly to do that. To allow people to increase their wealth so that they can then enjoy. But this consciousness, Krishna is explaining, is what keeps us bound in this material world. So Bhagavad Gita is antithetical to a modern society. Therefore, if we understand Bhagavad Gita properly, then we should understand that we have to create another way of living that allows us to follow these principles of Bhagavad Gita. Right? We can't just say, oh yes, Bhagavad Gita, that's my scripture. I'm a follower of Bhagavad Gita, but then don't do what Krishna says. Right? What's that called? Hypocrisy. Right? Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So the hypocrite oftentimes doesn't even know that they're a hypocrite. Right? They don't even know. They're thinking, yes, I do whatever. And they're not even seeing how they're not. So we also have to become conscious of what's being said in Bhagavad Gita and be able to understand this world in light of Bhagavad Gita, rather than trying to understand Bhagavad Gita in the context of this world, which is what we generally are doing. Right? We're trying to understand Bhagavad Gita in the context of modern society and see how it works like that. But this won't work. You will never be able to understand Bhagavad Gita that way. Rather, we're meant to reframe our whole understanding of life to make it match Bhagavad Gita. We're not the body, we're spirit soul. That's a major reframing right there. And then, next thing, what? There's two aspects to false ego, right? I and mine. So there's two first lessons of Bhagavad Gita are about I and mine. You're not the body, nor are you those possessions that you think you have. The result of your activity. That's not yours. And as long as you want to claim it, then we have to be covered up by Maya. Krishna explains that later in 924. You can look that up for me, Prabhu. 924. Aham hi sarva yagyanam bhukta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhichanati. Anybody else? Help me. Tat yarantas tivantite. Krishna says, I am the only enjoyer and the only object of sacrifice. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. What's Krishna's transcendental nature? He explains that in 529. Suridam sarvabhutanam gatramam shantamrichiti. Krishna is the only enjoyer, he's the only proprietor, and the dearmost friend of others. That's his position as God. If we try to take his position, if we don't recognize Krishna's transcendental nature, we try to take his position as the proprietor, as the enjoyer, as the dearmost friend of others, we must fall down. Fall down means what? Become covered up by Maya. You want to be the enjoyer? Krishna says, okay, well, you can't be because I am, so therefore we'll cover you up by Maya so that you can think you're the enjoyer, so that you can think you're the proprietor, so you can have this kind of illusion. So this material world is a place of illusion. We're all living in various kinds of illusion of our own creation. And the whole point of Krishna consciousness is to become free from this illusion by understanding our reality in terms of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is explaining spiritual economics. The result of your activities do not belong to you. Everything must be done as a sacrifice and offering for Vishnu, for Krishna. And in this way, we live in a spiritual way. This is spiritual economics. Okay, so we'll stop there for some discussion. Where's our microphone? Do we have the traveling mic? Okay, who's the intelligent person with the question? Questions are a sign of intelligence, so intelligent people will be asking questions. Huh?
I'm still waiting, but I can make a question.
Put it close to your mouth.
I can wait for the intelligent person, but I can make a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Time being.
Yeah. Hold it up here. Point it at your mouth.
So when Krishna is telling Arjuna to not get too attached to the result, is that the same thing saying when he explained about action and inaction?
Yeah, action and inaction. So this is third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, right? So Krishna is explaining that, if you sit down and appear to do nothing, like a renunciate, it's not necessarily that just by sitting down that you're not performing karma. And neither is it the case that if you're active, that you're performing karma. So karma is not actually a matter of activity or no activity. What's the basis of karma? We have to understand this clearly. The basis of karma is, I want the result for me. I want some result. Free from karma means Krishna gets the result, whatever that might be. Okay? So, inaction. Prabhupada gives the example, one may retire to some secluded place to chant the Mahamantra. But why? What do they want? They want something from this. What do they want? They want the adoration of the innocent public to think, oh, he's a sadhu, right? He's just chanting all day long. So, that may be the case. Maybe it's not, but it may be. If that is the case, then that's not inaction. And nor is it action if somebody's working very hard for the pleasure of Krishna. So the question is, who gets the result of the activity? What's it being done for? What's the motivation? Do I want something from it? If I want something from it, this means I'm setting into motion the chain of karma. I want the result. If I don't want the result, if I want to do that for Krishna, then this is nishkama karma yoga, free from karma. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. One question for Grihasthas, like how we can offer our activities to Krishna basically, because we have to earn for family and everything, we have to take care of the kids. So how to take it towards the Krishna?
So how do we follow this instruction in modern life, in modern Western life particularly? Well, one thing you can do is you must make your home a temple, so that when you go to work to make money to pay the mortgage, you're maintaining Krishna's temple. But not just in lip service, but actual. You live there in that place as the servant of the Lord. That's the identity that you adopt. I am the Lord's servant. This is His place. I am here as His servant. I am keeping this place for Him. The cooking goes on for Him. The cleaning goes on for Him. Everything is done for the pleasure and satisfaction of the deity. And it's really simply an adjustment of mind. Instead of, all one has to think is, let me do this nicely to please Krishna. Every activity, no matter what it is, if we do with that frame of mind, then this is Bhakti Yoga. So that's one answer, okay? The other answer is that if we really want to follow this, we should reconstruct an entire culture that follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. So this is called Daiva Varnashram, that culture. That everything is this. And Prabhupada, he wrote about this. He wrote in, I think it was 1956, or maybe, no, 1949. He wrote a paper called Conceptions of Gita Nagari. It's on the Veda base if you want to look that up. And in that paper, he is writing about Gita Nagari, the place where everybody lives according to Bhagavad Gita. And he explains that there, everything is done for the pleasure and satisfaction of the deity. That everything is done as devotional service. And there's no money exchanging hands like that, just like we do in the temple, right? Prabhupada actually showed us this example, the way he set up his temples. That we come to the temple, we give service. Right? Some people are cooking, some people are cleaning, some people are taking care of administration. All the activities that go on here are done as devotional service. But somehow or other, when we leave this building and go outside, then we go back to I and mine. Right? Here everything is for Krishna, but outside of here, it's I and mine. This is our conditioned nature. Okay, we're conditioned by this. We don't create this system. We're born into this world. We have to figure out how to live in it, and generally, we try to do the best that we can. But we don't realize how it's actually working against us. So, the better solution is to create an alternative culture that demonstrates how to live according to Bhagavad Gita, as Srila Prabhupada was explaining in that paper, Conceptions of Gita Nagari. This is called Daiva Varnashram. And Prabhupada spoke about Varnashram Dharma endlessly in 1977. He went on and on explaining about it. But unfortunately, our leaders haven't understood it, or for some reason haven't really taken it up seriously. Most of them. Some are trying to. But that's the bigger solution. It's just like the milk question, right? Ahimsa milk. Should we become vegans and not drink milk? No, we should actually create a culture in which we maintain the cow for her entire life. We serve the cow, and then we can have wonderful milk products. That's the better solution. So Daiva Varnashram is the better solution. But the stopgap measure is that you make your home a temple and you live there as a servant of the Lord. Okay?
Swamiji, what I gather from your expression and your advice is that we should divinize our work.
Take the microphone, please.
What we gather from your advice is that we should divinize our daily work.
Divinize?
Our daily work, yes.
Make it spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah, this is called Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga, yes. And whatever we do, we divinize it.
Yeah.
But
Now we have to be very careful that we don't get caught.
Yes.
Because it's very easy to say, oh, this is for Krishna. But then I'm maintaining the mentality of being the enjoyer. Right? And the proprietor. Right? I am very happy to be a wealthy man. Right? I see myself differently from other people because I have money. So this goes very subtle into the false ego.
Right.
So the way to free ourselves from that is to give. Give in charity. This is also spiritual economics. Spiritual economics ultimately is a gift economy based on devotional service. That we are giving We developed this mentality of not just coming and putting some money in the hundi, but we're giving of ourselves. We all have different abilities, different qualifications.
Yes.
And what we need to do in spiritual economics is learn how to give of ourselves to others. We look for ways to simply give. So you have some ability as a computer programmer. Okay, give. I'll give you an example of that. There was some young Indian men down in South Bay, San Francisco area. I think they were in Silicon Valley. And they were thinking about how to do this. And so they were all, they all made websites. So they came up with the idea, well, let's make websites for people and give that away. So that's what they did. So for nonprofit organizations, they would make websites for free as a gift, giving their skills. The missing part here is that they're not doing it for Krishna. They're trying to give, so that's good. But Krishna's not in the picture. We want to give to please Krishna. And so then they thought, okay, well, that worked pretty well. Now what else can we do? So they opened a restaurant in San Francisco. There's another Indian man who has a restaurant in San Francisco, a nice place. It was closed on Sunday. And so they asked him, can we use your restaurant on Sunday they wanted to create a place called the Karma Kitchen. And the restaurant owner agreed and gave him the place. So it's a nice restaurant. You go in, sit down, they have a vegetarian menu. The waiter will come and take your order, bring your food, bring your dessert. When you're done with that, he brings the bill. The bill says you owe $0.00. Your meal has been paid for by somebody who came before you, and if you like, you can leave a donation for those who come after you. Giving. You're not obligated. You've already eaten. Now, it's up to you. Do you want to give something or not? That restaurant's been going on for about 7 or 8 years. If you want to volunteer, the only person that gets paid in that restaurant is the cook. And if you want to volunteer, everybody else comes and they volunteers. And if you want to volunteer, you have to sign up at least a month in advance because people are so eager to come and give. So this is the idea. Gift economy, spiritual economics. But in spiritual economics, we also want to include Krishna. We want to do this work for the pleasure of the Lord, to include Him in every activity. And what do we get when we give? We get a lot, right? How they say, it's better, more blessed to give than receive, right? This is the Christian aphorism. Why? Because when we give, we all know, for birthday or for Christmas or whatever holiday, we give some donation and we feel good. We get blessed by giving. So why can't the whole world function like that? It can, right? So I've got my magic wand. What if I wave my magic wand and tonight everybody will go to sleep and tomorrow morning we wake up, all the money is gone. It's just vanished. Okay? But part of my magic is everybody's going to get up and go to work just like they normally would. Okay? Can everything continue the way it is? Sure. If we continue to do like we normally do. Except you wouldn't need any bankers. You wouldn't need any accountants. You wouldn't need most of the lawyers. You wouldn't need, who else? Cashiers. Right? All these people could be freed up to do something productive instead of counting money all the time. So the world can work like that if, what's the requirement? We have to give up this conception, this consciousness of I and mine. Now this was going on formerly. If you read my book, I'll show you. My book's back there on the table. But So, my book, Spiritual Economics, you can have a look at it back at the table. If you read my book, I'm explaining how the indigenous cultures of the world, they would all live like that. If you go back, you can look anywhere in the world, the indigenous cultures. Before, this means before money. People did not go hungry. People were not without. There was no homeless people. Why? Because those cultures had more sattva gun. Sattva gun now is practically zero, and instead we have rajagun and tamagun. Get more, right? And tamagun means I'll get it at your expense. I'll take it from you. I'll steal from you, right? I'll cheat you. This is rajagun, tamagun. So this is modern economics. So if we want to solve the economic problem for everybody, we can do that, but it requires that we all have to be lifted up to sattva gun. And the best way to do that is, of course, by chanting Hare Krishna and engaging in the Lord's devotional service. Okay, we have 5 minutes more? More question? Oh yeah. Okay. All right, you agree? Prabhu? You agree?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Pass the mic back there.
When Krishna says that leave all the dharmas and surrender to Him, so there the dharma, what it means, what we have to leave.
Speak a little louder. I can't.
And Krishna says that we have to leave all the dharmas
Yeah,
and surrender to Him.
yeah.
So what does that dharma mean there?
Dharma. Dharma means all these things that we think we have to do, except what he's explained in Bhagavad Gita. So again, people were previously following Karmakanda, right? That's a dharma. That was their dharma at that time. Krishna said, no, that's finished. We're going to change this. What he says, what is it? Paritranayam saranam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come every millennium to establish the principles of religion, and that's what he's doing in Bhagavad Gita. He's establishing the principle of religion that, what? Bhakti yoga, devotional service. So, that's what he says. All these other dharmas, all these things that we think we have to do, all these things that our culture tells us that we have to do, the dharma of America, keep your grass cut short. No, the most important thing is to do what he says. Ma mekam saranam vraja. Do what I say. So, that's the real dharma. And so we have to think about, how am I going to live and follow this instruction? What do I do to follow this instruction? Now there's a lot of people who they take this rather seriously. There's one fellow by the name of Mark Boyle. Anybody know of him? He's a man, he's become famous for living without money. You can look him up on TED Talks, Mark Boyle. And so one day he just decided he was going to stop using money because it's a problem. He saw it was a problem in his life. So he had about $200 with him at that time, and what he did, he just went into some phone booth or some place like that and left his money there. And then he just started to live without money. And what he found was that, yeah, you can do it by, using your intelligence. I know of a woman in Germany who also decided the same thing. Mark Boyle, he was in his 30s, I think, maybe early 40s. There's a woman in Germany, can't recall her name, but she did the same thing. She decided she was going to stop living without money. So there's people who understand that actually money is Money is a scourge of society. If you read my book, I explain it there, how it's the great downside of money, how it destroys people. So there's different ways to do it. But what we have to do, we have to see, how am I going to do that? How am I going to look for a way? Just like these fellows that opened the Karma kitchen. Okay. Well, maybe we could do that too. I wrote to that fellow who started the Karma kitchen. On their website, they make a list of all the other restaurants that are operating in that way. There's about 25 of them in the world at that time. And I wrote to him and I said, well, you forgot to list the Hare Krishnas, because the Hare Krishna devotees, they feed about 1 million people a day. And so you should add them to your list. He wrote back saying that, yes, I'm very well aware of the good work that the Hare Krishnas are doing. He said, but the problem is they're not teaching people how to give to others. Yes, they're giving themselves, but they're not teaching other people how to give. Which is true. Right? So we give prasadam, right? You had a restaurant here for a long time, I guess, right? It was free. So that's nice. But we also need to teach people this principle. How to, not just to give, but to give in the spirit of devotional service. This is what, as devotees, is part of Prabhupada's mission. This is what Prabhupada wanted to teach the world, how to live according to Bhagavad Gita. So, we have to rack our brain and see how we can do it. Now, you're all intelligent people. All you guys are working for these big companies here, Redmond and Microsoft and whatever. So you got good brains. So put your brains together and think of a way to do this. It's a challenge, to be sure, but let's take it up. The world certainly needs that help. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. Same follow-up question on that, on dharma. So one of the lecture I was hearing, so I heard like, give up all the cheating dharmas. So the understanding is that like give up all cheating dharmas means the dharma which doesn't develop the real law of Godhead, which doesn't bring to the Godhead. That's my understanding. And as you stated, Maharaj, like karma kanda, which is entangle you to be in this world, as you said in a class. So that means all other religions which entangled you, any other varieties, and doesn't give you love of Godhead to go back to Godhead. That means those we have to give up.
Well, not just religion, but activity. Right? I mean, America's, everybody in the world, not just America, everybody's doing fruitive activity. Right? They want, this is the nature of the living being in this world. Prabhupada writes when he explains the Mahamantra, he says, people are trying to exploit the resources of this material nature, right? But actually they're becoming more and more entangled in their complexities. So this is the nature of the conditioned soul. They want to possess, right? This is one of the conditions of the creation that Lord Brahma set up, right? This is explained in the, I think, third canto of the Bhagavatam. 5 conditions, 5 preliminary conditions of sense of false ego, false sense of proprietorship, fear of death. There's 2 more. Anyway, one of those is false sense of proprietorship. So that's inherent in the conditioned soul. I want to enjoy this world. I have this consciousness, aham bhogi, I am the enjoyer, right? And aham mameti, it is mine. I and mine. So this is the nature of the conditioned soul. So in devotional service, in Krishna consciousness, we're meant to free ourselves from this way of understanding, to rise above that, to see, yes, I'm not these possessions, I'm not the body, I'm not the enjoyer. I'm not the proprietor. Huh? Who am I in relationship to Krishna? So we reframe our experience and see ourselves in light of Bhagavad Gita, as a spirit soul in relationship to God, as His servant. And see everything else in that context. That's where we want to go. So we should make that our goal and remind ourselves, how close am I coming to that? Do we work toward it? Generally, what we're doing, we live in the context of modern society, and we come here, and we do our devotional service in whatever way we can. Okay, that's laudable, but it's just a start. It's not the complete thing. Okay. Okay.
So, follow up on that karma kanda when we say, so people can start, as you said, we should make a goal. So, from karma kanda we can go to the karma yoga. So, the same line we can also apply yukta vairagya also.
Apply to what?
Yukta vairagya means whatever that we are doing it,
Yeah.
that can be connected, transformed to the connection, like
Right.
as you said, fruity
Yeah.
activities, so,
Right.
and the skills like arts or dance or culture.
Yeah. So we can't make it all in one big step, huh? We advance gradually, slowly, but we have to go in that direction. We have to know, where are we trying to go? Not that we just keep our illusion and chant Hare Krishna. Right? Oh yes, I'm a devotee. I chant Hare Krishna. But we don't understand Bhagavad Gita. So, yesterday we were speaking about this. How, because we're conditioned souls, we're conditioned by the nature of modern society, we try to understand Bhagavad Gita in the context of modern society, and it doesn't work. Rather, we have to see what is Krishna saying, and we see this world in context of Bhagavad Gita. And that turns everything inside out. Okay. So, anything else? We'll continue with part 2 tomorrow night. There's more to talk about with this. So, we hope you can come back early. Come back for the beginning. We all filtered in a little late, many of you, but please try to come. And then we'll continue with to expand on the idea. I'm here until next Wednesday, so Friday, Saturday, Monday, no, not Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. So we'll have 3 more classes to develop the idea. So in the back of the room on the table, there's some of my spiritual economics books, and I've got here with me some of my Change the Karma book. So I'll see you back there. We can talk about it more. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.